An audio indicator. Hey, everybody, this is Sifu Z. Welcome. This is the ritual. Is it? Yeah. Um, we're indoors. We're going through a heat wave right now in California, and yeah, it's not safe outdoors. I wouldn't even be able to do this outdoors because the camera doesn't work in that kind of a heat. All right. So, in case you're new, this is the training ritual, and I'm Sifu Z. And pretty soon over here, there is probably going to be a Sifu chat as well. Normally, at about 7:30 a.m., we get together and we train, and it's open to the public. And then we go on over to Patreon and continue to train with our Patreon members over there. And the style of training is really, well, for the public, it's predominantly martial art influenced exercises and perhaps a specific martial art thing here and there, but predominantly a what you would almost call a mixed martial arts, but it's not mixed martial arts per se. All right. I've trained in a whole bunch of martial arts, and the two that I continue to focus on and meditate on and train in. One, it's not triple digits outside, is Wing Chun and jiu-jitsu, with a huge emphasis on the Wing Chun. I love jiu-jitsu, but uh, Wing Chun is more practical for my uses and for me as a person. But I've always loved grappling. I was a wrestler in high school, so I've always enjoyed that. We have water, yeah, and we have I don't even know what this is. This is whatever this is. Does it say on it what it is? I don't know. It's from Valencia, yeah, USA, EUA. I don't know what that means. And some water in a plastic bottle. Wanted to start early today because this way I can do a little more. I may have to go get out of the heat, and I may have to go back into the mountains to escape this heat. But the problem is, I have to come right back. So I've got a lot of business to do, and for the next, at least for the next few days. T Mac, nice. Hi. This is the wonderful, infamous AirPods Pro, the goated family. Hmm. Can you say my name? Yeah, I can, I guess. That's a peculiar request. Yeah, this AirPods Pro 2, it loves to pop out of my ear. Now, it doesn't matter what like earpiece I put in, big, small, medium, extra large, extra small. It pops out of my ear. It's weird. The Beyblade 5-6, English or Spanish? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are asking there. Those are all peculiar questions, but it's all right. It's a strange world these days. Um, Now, let me bust out some of the rules of this channel. And that is this: no politics, no religion. And this is in respect to Wing Chun and all martial arts and exercise. So if you've come here to engage in that sort of conversation, then you're in the right place. Otherwise, yeah, you probably want to keep moving on. All right, but thanks for stopping by. Um, yeah, all right. Now this is what I'm doing today. Since it's triple digits, somebody said 111 today. 111. Wow. So, alright. Geez, guys, you're going to have it so I'm here all by myself, aren't you? Man, oh man. All right. Well, this is going to be a Q&A. So it, it doesn't seem like anybody in this chat so far has any interest or questions regarding martial arts, fitness, let alone Wing Chun or anything like that. Ah, so I'll engage in a little pre-meal snack here. This is almonds, cranberries, and cashews. Where's everybody from? And even more importantly, what temperature is it? In Fahrenheit, please. Mmm, that's a really good question. I haven't had a good question like that. Hmm. Oh, you got martial arts like capoeira. Wow. Um, I would say jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu is only as complicated as you want it to be. Like, if you get involved in competition and stuff. But as far as the basics of jiu-jitsu, it's not hard. Hmm. I've never done kendo. I bet you kendo is really hard to master. I'm gonna go with capoeira. Hmm. Well, another great question. My opinion on pulling guard. That has to have context, though. That question has to have context. Is Are you pulling guard in a self-defense in a fight scenario, or in MMA? Because I'm not much of a sport enthusiast, martial arts sports enthusiast. I am a huge martial arts self-defense enthusiast, though. So, pulling guard in MMA. Come on, we all know in MMA. 1 second, please. And ladies and gentlemen, it is Sifu, Chad,
Good day.
in the house. Oh, I feel bad. I'm indoors. It's triple digits out there. My phone wouldn't even work if I were outside.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a place that I could put my phone down in the shade where it won't overheat. So, yeah.
This is
Uh,
these are some trying times for us trying to train, because we train. We're going to train regardless, but trying to do this
yeah,
online, I don't know if people realize what a challenge it is to bring these folks with us every time we train. So,
yeah, it is a challenge because it's
yeah,
it's we have to deal with the elements, We have
yeah,
to consider the elements.
that's right. We are nomads, so we're martial artists. We are gung fu guys, and by nature, it's not even a peculiar thing. By nature, we are nomadic. It's just the
Indeed, just
kung.
like Musashi.
It's the kung fu way. So
Yeah.
yeah. So when the weather isn't so good, it might be a little challenging to get you guys. But I was bound and determined to make this one happen. Bound and determined. I wasn't able to make it at the 7:30 because of a schedule conflict, and then and then of course the heat. So yeah, I was just
Yeah,
bound and determined to make this happen.
that heat thing.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. I
making me
have
switch my position here.
yeah,
Oh,
I have an umbrella that I try to use for that. Yeah. All right. So, Sifu Chad, let me do a quick introduction here with for both of us. Here, I'm Sifu Z.
I'm Sifu Chad.
Yeah, see, that's right on time. Okay. And we have been training together for years, probably longer than alive you've been have been alive. I'm a student of Grandmaster Chris Chan, and Grandmaster Chris Chan is a student of Ip Man, and Ip Man is the guy that taught Bruce Lee and all that. So my Sifu, our Grandmaster Chris Chan, was very good friends with Bruce Lee, and very involved in the Bruce Lee story. So now uh, I've trained in Wing Chun and I've trained in Jiu-Jitsu, and I've trained in Taekwondo and all kinds of stuff. And Sifu Chad has had some experience in Kendo and some other martial arts before coming into Wing Chun. And all of my students have a lot of experience with grappling or China, or what's also known as Jiu-Jitsu. So it just I was a grappler in high school, and when I learned Wing Chun, I learned only a year later of being turned on to Wing Chun. I was turned on to Jiu-Jitsu. So it didn't take long for me to realize that they were the same thing. Just one was standing and one was on the ground, but really the same thing, right? So somebody is obsessed with my age. I'm 98 years old. How old are you? Okay, and where are you from? None of you guys have told me where you're from. None of you have told me how hot it is outside. So there you go. Um,
So hot.
it's so. What
It's
temperature
so
do you have?
hot.
Yeah, so I'm taking this opportunity to do a Q&A. So I know a lot of you got questions out there. I don't know how legitimate some of them are. Uh, uh, but yeah, this is a great time to do a Q&A, and we're not going to do the 50-50. We're just going to focus on a Q&A, and this is going to be a nice thing to post after the fact because it will give people a better idea of what Wing Chun is, what my style of Wing Chun is and is not, what Wing Chun in general is and is not, and what martial arts is and is not. And I think this is probably a big enough topic that, that we'll be able to fulfill the time slot, so to speak. Now, let me say once again, our normal time slot is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, California time, that is. So, all right. Now, I want to finish answering a question right before Sifu Chad joined in. And the question was on pulling guard. Now,
Ooh.
yeah. Now, let me first say, I trained with the Helsing Gracie camp and in Hawaii. Started, I think, about 1994 is when I started training with the Helsing Gracie folks. Right. So one of the this just wants to pop out like popcorn. It's so insane. Okay, I'm just gonna stick it in there. I usually have to stick this so far into my ear that it touches my brain. That's usually how far I stick that in there. So now, pulling guard and jujitsu. Well, first of all, pulling guard was really a focus from Brazilian jiu-jitsu, from the Gracie jiu-jitsu camp. There is a distinction. There's the Gracie family and their approach to jiu-jitsu, and then there's the offshoot Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Uh, but the guard is probably not probably the guard is sort of what Gracie jiu-jitsu should be called proper, because jiu-jitsu has a huge vocabulary and techniques, right? Usugami and uchuguru, and I'm making those terms up. I'm sorry, I don't know the terms, uh, but we've all heard the jujitsu, the Japanese terms in jujitsu, right? So what Brazilian jiu-jitsu did was really interesting, and I say interesting because it's also I learned the trick well before jujitsu in a movie, one of those afternoon family movies. And I learned the trick from an old man that did a thing. I'll go into that later, uh, but but here's the thing: the guard is what Gracie Jiu Jitsu is, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I know it's evolved into like half guard and quarter guard and stuff like that, right? But it really is about the guard. And so if you're if you appreciate jujitsu, then of course you appreciate the guard. It's not the only thing to do, but now he said the question was jujitsu in reference to MMA. Now, Sifu Chad, what do you think about pulling guard in MMA?
I wouldn't advise it um, at all. Uh,
But now listen,
it's a lot.
neither of us
Yeah,
have done an MMA match. I've taught some MMA guys, but neither of us are
right. Yeah,
steeped in MMA. Let's make that really clear. All right, we're just two
yes, yes,
guys
yes.
that
I
train in martial arts, and we're on the internet. That's our qualifications right now.
Yeah, it's striking. It's that whole striking game. If you're gonna pull guard, you better make sure you're really safe to do so. You know, um, and if you're not safe to do so, and you're just jumping on the guy and giving him a hug, then right there's a lot that can go in between that. So just pulling the guard, like right off the bat, I wouldn't advise it. But if you were to set it up in a way, perhaps in a safer way, that's not just kind of leaving you wide open for strikes in your face and on your body, you know, because in MMA, in MMA, there's rules. You can't hit certain places, right? You can't hit at certain times, like kneeing when he's down. You can't kick or knee the guy when he's like lower than waist or something like that. I'm not too sure of the exact rule, but I know there's something
Hand
about
touching the
you know.
mat.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
hand touching that thing. So yeah, all in all, I wouldn't advise it unless you are so solid and so safe that you're not going to get hurt when you pull that guard. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
but it's risky,
No.
really risky,
Now, Ramon,
especially with the body slam.
yeah, yeah.
So
Ramon
there's a lot. There's a whole lot around that.
Ramon Bostic is in the house, so is Hunter Kalish and Tamak Nice.
Hey,
Aloha, everybody. Yeah, we forgot to join it. Yeah,
that is right.
Ramon Bostic says pulling guard gets a bad rap, but it's a legit position. I agree. I agree. Now,
hmm hmm
all of this comes with, preconditions, right? Hey, Kim, how you doing? Uh, I know this is a Q and A right now. It's too dang hot for my phone. to be outside right now. So I came in. I'm in a public library, and I'm doing I'm doing the things that they do in public libraries, which I don't know what that is.
Actually,
I
gotta
haven't.
adjust my phone shade there.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yes, pulling guard. Now, the first time I ever saw pulling guard was in one of those like family movies from 1970s or 80s, and it was an old man, and the old man lived in New York, and he was in a really bad neighborhood, and he was dealing with all the gang members and stuff, and he just he was really trying to figure out how could he get this one kingpin, this one gang member, right? And he was just the terror of everybody, all especially all the old people. He'd take their checks and all that stuff. So anyway, what he did was back in the day, he used to be a welder before he retired as an old man. He was a welder. So what he did was he welded two bracelets had two bracelets, right? And he had his so you would never see the metal bracelets, right? The bracelets were able to clamp together, click together, but once they clicked together, you couldn't undo them, right? Now, this is such a great movie. I just wonder why these movies aren't around anymore. So what the guy did was he set the guy up, the big kingpin, to come and rob him. And then what he did was he bear hugged the guy, essentially put him in the guard, right? Bear hugged the guy, clamped them together, and now he was attached to the guy's body. So now, no matter what the guy did, if the guy like injured him or killed him, he'd still have the guy's dead body attached to him. And so, yeah, so the old guy with the bright idea of pulling guard, he wasn't strong enough to hold guard or pull guard. He's an old guy, right? And not to say that old guys can't pull guard and hold guard, right? but but it was just the first time I saw that kind of technique. And so, what we're talking about here, Brinksy, cool stream man, I'm pooped. Wow, that was fast. He had pooped from listening to me. This is a Q and A, so if you have any questions, let either of us know, and we'll make something up for you. All right. Um, Pulling guard is really great if you are on the ground. If you get thrown to the ground, right? Then yeah, pull guard. Pull guard.
Mhm.
I will pull guard even if, like for instance, I'll pull guard before trying to get on top because staying on top takes a lot of effort. Pulling guard, man, you can kind of relax a little bit while they're straining way more than you are, right? So
Yeah.
there's a really good use there. Now, what does Wing Chun have in place of that? Well, in Wing Chun's hands, we don't. By the way, Wing Chun doesn't do chi sao. Wing Chun doesn't do chi sao on the streets like, oh, you're going to get into a fight and then you start doing chi sao. No, 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 no. That's not Wing. That's not Wing Chun. Although I think maybe for some it is. Yeah, but yeah. So we sort of have the same thing. We can trap them and then push out, right? Same thing where you can pull guard and then push out and reverse or just push. Well, my favorite thing to do with guard is put them in guard and then as they're trying to pull out, push out and then go for an escape and then pull them back in, push them back out. Same thing when they're pushing, you go ahead and push out, and when they're pulling in, you can pull in. So but the guard is a great game to just take the person's energy out of them. Right now,
Mhm.
it was a Gracie family member. I'm not going to say the name here, but it was during a seminar that I did with a Gracie, and it was a street self defense seminar given by a Gracie. It was almost a Wing Chun 101 class. There was no grappling. There was no guard. The message was when you're out in the streets, respect the striker. The message was maintain your distance and all that stuff. And then, yeah, if you have to go to the ground, and here's the thing with jujitsu, if the person is unfortunate enough to put you on the ground, you see what I'm saying? If you're a jujitsu player and that person is unfortunate enough to put you on the ground, then guess what? It's a good day for the jujitsu guy
Hmm.
because that's their place. That's what that's
Indeed.
that's that's what you do. So
Spent a
the
lot of time there.
yeah. So for self defense, a good jujitsu player knows that out on the street, man, just maintain your different distance. Maintain your distance, and and then and if that person, like I said, is unfortunate enough to attempt to take down or any of that stuff, well then, yeah, sorry for them. Yeah. You know which Gracie, yeah, I'm talking about. Very good, very good. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to say names because I know everybody's got their different opinions and their different approaches. My approach is coming more from the street and self defense. That's for sure. And if you're immersed in the sport of jujitsu, you're gonna have a whole nother thing. There's gonna be a whole nother thing going on there, right? You're not even you're you're not even considering self-defense, right? So let me see. Matthew, boxing is great against kung fu. I tried grappling, but I don't like other people sweat all over me. Yeah, I know what you mean, Matthew. Boxing is great against kung fu. Well, listen, when you say one thing is great against another, I don't think really are doing justice. I'm going to be nice here. I don't think you're really doing justice. I've seen some amazing capoeira guys. I've seen some amazing
Mhm.
taekwondo guys. All right, so a good fighter, no matter what style it is a good fighter. All right, can we all just agree on
Indeed.
that? Can we all just agree?
Ah, concurred. Yeah.
Like, would you ever want to get
It
into a
it all
fight?
does come down to the person.
Yeah, would you ever want to get into a fight with Richard Simmons?
Who's Richard Simmons? Do I know that person?
Oh man, I'm showing my age here. Richard Simmons was the
Ah,
fitness guy with the big hair, with the big hair.
oh gosh.
And he
Ah,
was about as um very flamboyant and just hyper as can be. Yeah, you want to mess with that guy? Uh-uh.
I don't think so. No.
No, no.
I think I'd rather talk to him and see what he's like and see what's happening, Like, hey man, how is this,
You'll train. Yeah, hear that. The best martial art is the one you'll train every day. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I'll
there
I'll
are so
drink to that.
many there's so many martial artists from various different backgrounds, and you can't say that there hasn't been uh, adequate candidates for each martial art in the MMA and in the UFC. There's
Yeah.
there's so many martial artists from different backgrounds that have made it to the top. You know,
Yes.
so
Yeah,
it really is the person.
that is such a marketing scheme. Such marketing, you know. I mean, listen, when the Gracies were doing their when they were doing their open challenge, do you think the losses were recorded? No, no, no. And here's the thing: there were so many of them. I mean, everybody that does jujitsu and Gracie jujitsu specifically. So you're going to have now. Did they have a high success rate? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But was it a hundred? No, no, no. You're not going to hear about that, right? But that's reality. Wing Chun, same way. I mean, you're going to hear about all the wins of Wing Chun. You're not going to hear about the Wing Chun guy from the Wing Chun guy that got his butt kicked, right? Everybody. So,
Mhm.
so that's so silly. It's just such nonsense, really. Uh,
Yeah, everybody gets their butt kicked.
y-
everybody, and vice versa. Everybody kicks us.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's that person thing. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
the
What?
flies are digging me today.
Oh man, I've the past couple days in the mountains have been rough. Just infestation of flies that like to bite. Like I'll just watch
Oh
them.
yeah.
I'll just watch them, and they're just drawing blood. I'm like, how are you even doing that? You're a fly. You're a fly. I mean, mosquitoes too, but I'm just trying to understand how a fly could even do that, right?
A fly keto.
Yeah.
Fly keto.
What Ramon
uh,
says, I think is very poignant as well, which is the best
mhm.
martial art is the one you'll train every day. That reminds me of in the gun culture, they say, "What's the best gun?" Right? Yeah, no one ever cares about the gun when you've been shot. It's like, oh yeah, I got shot with that 357. Oh yeah, I got shot with that 380. No, I got shot. That's you just it's I got shot. Right? There
Yeah.
should be the same way with martial arts. It's like when you get your butt kicked in martial arts, you say, yeah, I got martial art.
I got my butt kicked.
I got martial artist. I,
Martial artisted.
I got
Artisted.
martial artisted. So, yeah, the best gun is the one that you have on you. You know, I don't bother carrying a gun because boom, boom, yeah, I really have to carry, but I
I
get the
don't carry one
gist.
either.
Yeah, I get the
Mm.
gist. I get the gist. And I enjoy guns, but the problem with guns is they've become such a problem that the fun's kind of gone. I can't have any fun anymore. It's no fun to go out and shoot a can, you know, or or a pine cone or something. I mean, it's just no fun. It's gotten so icky now. It's like so. Anyway, have we kicked everyone out of here? Uh,
I haven't been
perhaps
paying
I don't.
attention.
Yeah, I might have kicked everybody out, but that's all right. That we have to do diligence with the trolls. So,
Yeah,
yeah, this is a Q and A, and if you guys don't have questions, then you better have answers because I'm going to start asking questions. Soy, shui. What is shui? What the hell does that mean? What in tarnation is shui?
soy.
Shoy. I
I
don't
don't
know what
know.
that is. Yeah, I don't know what it is either. I tell you, these let me see. Let me see. What would be a good question if it were asked? Well, let's kind of stay on the what is like for instance, another thing I don't think the guard is for pulling guard is good for is I don't think it's good for women to pull guard. Unless you're going to immediately transition to half guard. Full guard for a woman is not a good position. Mm-mm. No. In self-defense. In self-defense, not in sport. In sport, it's a whole nother thing. In sport, if you're good at pulling guard and full guard, like I consider myself to be pretty good. Well, Sifu Chad, you could attest to my guard. Do I have a decent guard? You could be honest.
I would say that you have a decent guard. I was in it a lot. Ah.
Yeah, because I use it a lot. I am a,
Indeed.
in fact, you know, I hope no one gets offended by my talking about pulling guard because that's my thing. I'm a bottom feeder. I pull guard. That's what I do. You know, I have to try to get myself to not pull guard. You know, sounds like an
Mhm.
interesting show with fresh perspective. Is jujitsu good for street fights? No. No, unless you have attained like your blue belt, right? You know, you could probably utilize techniques of jujitsu in a street fight if if you're on the ground, you know. But if you can help it, don't go to the ground until you're ready. You know, in jujitsu, that's usually a blue belt. Um, I can't speak for all jujitsu, okay? But for in the jujitsu that I've trained with in the Health and Gracie camp in Hawaii, because Health and Gracie camp is so huge that there's even divisions and approaches there. Okay. But yeah, the blue belt is that point at which you're proficient at going to the ground and taking care of business on the ground. Um, but that's just my perspective. Sifu Chad, what do you think? And I also wonder what Ramon Bastek thinks because Ramon is a full on
Mhm.
jujitsu practitioner, and he's also a blue belt. So you guys would be really good speaking on this.
Well, there's so many things to consider to go to the ground when you're in a street fight, because a street fight could be, out in a bunch of gravel, or a street fight could be on just a nice sidewalk, or a street fight could be in the nice fluffy grass where you can be like, oh, I can go to the ground on this grass. You could have a street fight in the parking lot, with a bunch of potholes everywhere. Uh, so you'd be like, well, do I want to go to the ground in that sense? Maybe I'd want to go to the ground on the grass. Uh, yeah, things like terrain is definitely a huge thing to consider in the street when you're to consider to go to the ground. Another thing is it just you and that guy, or does that guy have friends? You know, and I think
Mm.
that's a big factor um, that one should consider, because if it's just you and that other guy and it's a grass field and it's fluffy and nice, then yeah, sure, go to the ground at your content, I suppose, right? Especially if you're proficient at it and you can get in
There
and
you
out
go.
safely with it, right? But if you got a lot of people, like say he's got two or three other buddies, and you're like, oh, and it's a grassy field this time, right? And you take the one guy to the ground, but then the other two guys are on top of you, because now you're on the ground with one guy, and then the other two guys can just will kick you in the face and in your ribs and all that other jazz. So some factors to consider for sure. You know, that's kind of my take on it for now about it.
Yeah,
Ramon.
Nana
Oh,
says not getting into a fight is the best option. Now, let's all agree that this is so. Yes,
yes.
of course. But then we wouldn't have a stream now, would we? Yeah. So this is a stream about what happens if and when you get into a fight, right? Um,
Hmm.
if you're a martial artist, then you're going to at least get into fighting when you're training. So at the very
Yeah.
least, we're still talking about fighting, a cooperative fighting or cooperative training and whatnot. So, yeah, man, there's a lot involved to going to the ground. He was saying he's a small guy against a big guy. You know, again, the Gracies have a really good formula there. It's called
Hmm.
the Boyd belt system. But I'd apply the Gracie Boyd belt system, and this is from a Henner Gracie. And Henner says the Boyd belt system is this: you get a young guy, a young stud. He's young, he's athletic and whatnot, and he walks into the gym, and you're a black belt. The Boyd belt system is okay. Let me take care of this. Yeah, the Boyd belt system is this. Let's say I'm the old guy. Let's just say, for instance, I'm the old guy with the black belt, and this big guy comes in. He's stacked. He's young. He's stacked. He's bigger than me, and we're about to roll. Now he's not even. He doesn't even have a belt. He's like a white belt. He's just walking in off the street, and you got a black belt. Well, the Boyd belt system is this. And I don't know the numbers, but I know the gist, which is you have to take all those things into consideration before you think about the equivalence of belts, right? So my black belt doesn't become a black belt anymore. I'm an old guy. I've been doing this for a long time. So my black belt might have just turned into a purple belt, right? Maybe it's even turned into a blue belt, depending on who this guy is. He might be state champ wrestler, right?
Mhm.
Right. And so that I felt was really important because if you fight as a black belt against this guy, it's not gonna work out good for you. Like in your head, you're going, oh, I got this, right? No, you gotta be more like playing like a blue belt. And why? Because the blue belt is all about self-defense. Once you get beyond blue belt, now you're talking sport, I mean, you can apply the sport to your self-defense stuff, but you don't need to, I mean, you've got your blue belt, you've got those basic mechanics to take care of business on the ground. Uh,
Mhm.
so I think that's something also worth considering. Um, going to the ground just in general though is just a bad idea. It really is. You don't know the conditions on the ground, how many people, and also you go to the ground with somebody, uh, you're both probably going to jail if law enforcement gets involved, right?
Mhm.
Here's another thing. They say most fights go to the ground. I don't get that. Mm-mm. I've seen a lot of fights. I've been in a lot of fights. That's just not actually true. I mean, it may be true for people that don't fight. It may be true of people that are used to fighting as wrestlers,
Mhm.
you know. But I don't know, man. I see even online, man, I see tons of stand-up fights where they're standing up just beating each other. They're not going to the ground.
Oh yeah.
So I don't
Yeah,
re-
it's
yeah, I think it's pure
weird.
fiction. Honestly. I mean,
I agree.
you can say that all fights go to the ground, but that's not true. Almost all fights go to the ground. That's just not true. That's it.
I think perhaps the odds be 50-50.
I don't even think they're that. Honestly, I don't even think they're that because people
Right.
don't they don't normally want to hug and go to the ground. They normally want to like get away from me. Get away. Get away. Get away. I mean, it's that sort of thing, you know.
You're in my bubble. You're in my bubble.
Yeah, yeah, it's no I don't nor
Yeah, they do
because
that
I
thing.
don't normally see this. Oh, I'm mad at you. You're mad at me. Let's hug. I mean, no, that's not okay. Now, here's the thing: is the fight amongst friends and family? Because if that's true, okay, then maybe it's going to the ground. Then
Mm.
maybe, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have the stats on it. Otherwise, I'd call complete BS. But I just don't think it's true. I really don't think it's true. However, if you train on the ground and that's predominantly your training, then guess what? You're going to the ground. If
Yeah.
you're a wrestler and predominantly what you do is wrestle, guess what? You're probably going to the ground. If you and your big brother always get into it and you wind up doing your favorite WWF moves on each other, you're probably going to the ground. So it's contextual. I think it's very contextual. This whole going to the ground thing. When I'm amped up to fight, I'm in the air most of the time. I think I do my best ollies when I'm like fighting in the midst of fighting because I'm so amped, It's like bang, you just jump up and oh hold on. Yeah, I gotta scrape myself off the ceiling. You know. Uh, a Tom Allen move. What is a Tom Allen move? What? No, what is a Tom? What?
Can you fight?
Uh, can you fight each other? Who would win? Sifu Chad would win.
Uh,
Let me see.
no, I
Wh-
think Sifu would win.
this is a weird
He has
conversation.
taught me all just about everything I know. He's taught me. So
I know, and I've
yeah.
forgotten everything I taught him, so I'm in big trouble when it comes to Sifu Chad. Uh,
Uh,
I would love to start a school for children in South Africa. Go to sifuz.com and give me your information, and we can get that ball rolling. I have a friend that is, he loves South Africa and goes out there often. A friend, a student, he's out in Portland, Maine, and yeah, he goes to South Africa a lot, and I'm sure we could get something going for the kids out there. So yeah, just go see fuzi.com for that. Going by.
Not everything he knows. Ah, you're yeah, indeed. Indeed. I bet you he's forgot a lot that he could have taught me too, huh?
Yeah, dang it, dang it. The
Oh,
website is sifuz.com. That's SIFUZ.com, all one word. SIFUZ.com. Sifu Z or Sifu Z, but that's confusing. Sifu Z, SIFUZ. All right, that's all.
yes,
That's all we're doing.
easy.
Yeah, we're not gonna go back and forth on that one too many times there. Uh so yeah, I don't know if Ramon is still with us. You know, I wish we could have him on as well because
Mm,
um we'll be able we if we had him on, then we'd be really have the jujitsu ball rolling. Ramon may feel awkward talking jujitsu because he has a jujitsu master, right? A professor, and
mm,
he's a blue belt, so he's just really beginning his journey,
mhm,
and and so for him to speak authoritatively on jujitsu as a martial art technique might be a little awkward for him, as opposed to speaking about jujitsu as to what it does for him personally. So,
mhm.
that yeah, and really that's all I'm really interested in is what does it do for you personally. So,
I do think
rem-
his perspective would be really valuable,
yeah,
even
yeah,
at his level. You know what I mean?
mm,
Because
mhm,
every there's what is there probably more blue belts than black belts, right? So to
mhm,
have his perspective um, at his level, even for everybody else at that level and above and below and yada yada, it's still valuable information to have because it's in the midst of a journey. It's in the midst of this martial education, right?
that's
So
right.
I think it'd be valuable.
Yeah, and I'm always trying to watch that I don't step on people's toes. ruin their parade, so to speak, because but at the same time, I have my perspective, and so I think maybe preemptively saying to everyone, listen, this is my perspective, right?
Mhm.
And you're on a journey. Don't let my perspective dissuade you from your journey.
Right.
And if it does, then you might want to think twice about what you're doing. That's all.
Mhm.
I'm certainly not trying to get people to do Wing Chun. You know, uh, I I'll suggest that you do. I think it's the greatest martial art in the world, but you might not have the greatest martial arts instructor in the world to go to. So I can't really sell you Wing Chun, so to speak. You know, um, I think the best thing to do these days has been to just try to find. For instance, I had oh my goodness, I had a guy reach out to me. He's interested in training, and he wants to know, like, what do you do? Can I see one of your classes? Can I audit one of your classes and all this? I said, listen, buddy, uh, if you don't know who I am, then the best thing I could do is maybe direct you to somebody that would be good for what you want to do, right?
Mhm.
I feel that that's something that I want to give to the community, which is not necessarily sell them on me and my martial art, but let me point you to somebody that might be good for you. You know, don't go to the UFC gym. No, don't go there. Go no. There's all these other people. Don't do the UFC gym, folks. Don't. Come on, stop. That's like the McDonald's. There's so many martial arts instructors out there that are really good and that are, that that would be great to train with. Don't do
Mhm.
UFC. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb right now and make that statement. I see you got the rats photobombing you there.
I
Yeah.
think they're playing capture the little one or something. I don't know. Two of them look like they were captured. They could get
Yeah.
out of it though.
Somebody in chat, Pepe Shadley, isn't it just about getting out of bed and practicing any style of martial discipline and improving yourself? The whole which style is best or strongest is such a human way to think. Oh, absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now,
I
hey,
agree. It's quite human.
and now that's not to say that we can't cherish our martial art and be
Mhm.
and share our feelings and what we feel about our martial art, but not in lieu of putting down someone else's martial art. Absolutely not.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
um, and like Ramon had said earlier, the best martial art is the one that you get up out of bed. Well, I'm gonna use what Pepe is saying here, is the one that you get out of bed and you train in to improve
Yeah.
yourself. Yes,
Indeed.
that's absolutely. I would even say that it's not the human way. I think your conclusion is that is such a human way to think, and you know what? No, it's a very animal way to think. Um,
Ah.
yeah, yeah, because animals behave that way. Humans cooperate and communicate. That's what humans do.
Right.
I know it's not happening a
Yeah.
lot these days, folks, but that's the reality. Don't even claim that you're human or that people are human unless they're cooperating and communicating. And then you're entry level because uh um who is it, the Kardashev scale. If you're not familiar with the Kardashev scale, check it out. It's what level of humanity are we at? Right? The Kardashev scale, it's from a Russian scientist. And
Mhm.
it's a very well-known thing. You won't have any problem finding it online. But it's a measurement of how human we are. Like, are we just being civilized and human? Are we capturing all the energy that we can, utilizing? Are we capturing all the energy of the solar system? Blah, 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 blah. It gets wild.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
haven't even gotten to level one humanity of the Kardashev scale. We have not even achieved level one, yet people want to go around saying that they're human. Yeah. We're about to blow ourselves up here, but yet we want to call ourselves human. Sorry, I'm having problems with the terms and definition there. You know, this is not my
Yeah.
opinion. It's just terms and definition. I have no. My opinion is, yeah. Let's just go ahead and end it. That's my opinion, but don't follow my opinion because that's a martial art way to go. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, the fight. Here's a fight. Let's go. Here, let me just put all this aside. Let's go. Right? That's just the martial. That's a fighter's way of approaching a thing. You know? Yeah. I mean, yeah, and we're human. Really? Yeah. Sorry. Okay. End of rant there. No, that's a very animalistic way. You know. Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
So
very reptilian way. Reptilian, even. I'll even go not mammalian, but reptilian, because you know what? I've been on YouTube. You can see it all over the place. There are animals out there just getting along. Rabbits getting along with lions, and hamsters getting along with kitty cats,
a
and
deer walking around with a wolf. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm not even going to say it's animal. It's reptilian. It's a reptilian way of thinking, which
Oh,
is
does anybody know the part of that brain, by the way? It was
the
what is it
amygdala.
called?
The amygdala.
The amygdala that
Yes.
activates the mammalian, reptilian part of our brain.
That's
That makes us
which
go.
then
"Arr!"
which then activates the frontal lobe. Right.
Yeah, it makes us honk our horns.
So I
Uh,
agree with everything Pepe said, except for just the very end as being a human way to think. Yeah, but that's opening up a whole nother can of worms. My apologies, Pepe. Did not. Oh, I mean to open up many cans of worms. Who am I kidding? Uh, all right, we're coming on and up to or up on the last few minutes of our stream. You know, uh, I didn't think this was going to happen, folks, but you know, where there's a will, there's a way, and there's a library. And um, so um, yeah, I didn't think this was going to happen. I was almost going to like text and go, man, I just got to get back into the mountains before like everything melts, before the car melts, you know. You know, there's so many people on the sides of the roads broken down, man, because it's too hot
Ooh.
in their vehicles and they're all running their air conditioner. Here's a little Sifu Z tip for you. Didn't think this was coming, did you? Riding around in the heat? Yeah. Put your windows down, put the fan all the way up, and turn the heat all the way up. That's right. Turn the heat and the fan all the way
Oh,
up.
that makes
Turn
sense.
the
Yeah, that
windows
makes
down.
sense because
Yeah.
the heat is transferred from the engine. So what you're doing is you're cooling the engine as you drive. Yeah, I
You're
got you.
cooling the engine as you drive. And you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad because it's already really
It's
hot.
already hot.
It's already really hot. It's not like going to get hotter. You
Oh,
know?
you know what helps too is having a little spray bottle with you to just as you drive,
Oh man,
cool
I
you
got to
down a
try
little
that.
bit.
I got to
Yeah, it
try
feels
that.
good.
I'm going to get me one of them there spray bottles.
Good stuff. Yeah, that concerns me for my drive, man. I gotta drive. I gotta drive through that.
Yeah, here's another tip for you. Hey, and this is all survival stuff, so it fits the Wing Chun category. Um, just drive an hour at a time and then let your engine cool down. 1 hour at a
Yeah.
time, let the engine cool down. So an hour on, hour off, or as much as you can do, as many times as you can pull over and let the engine cool off. Pull the hood up, let the find a spot in shade, put the hood up, and let the engine just cool off and whatnot. Um, yeah, even if you do like that 2 or 3 times within a trip, it's going to really help the life of your engine. Yeah. So yeah. Um, all
Definitely
right.
stop at every single geological point of interest. That's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Those geological points of interest to me are usually rest stations and restrooms. So.
Yeah, right.
And they usually have
There's rocks there.
phenomenal historical information on the kiosks.
They do. They do.
Yes, we slaughtered the people that were once here. Have a good day. All right, get on with it now.
And this is where we did it. Right there.
Yeah, yeah. The next kiosk will tell you about the next place, the batch of people we slaughtered. All right. All right. Um, all
Yeah.
right, let me see. Okay, yeah, that's it. Hey, thank you very much, guys, for attending this special Q&A. I think this is going to be a what is martial arts, and what martial arts is and what it is not. There you go. There you go. I think that's going to be the title of this, unless you guys come up with a better one. Um, this has been brought to you by SifuZ.com, and that's the place you go to, learn a sustainable method of fitness and a practical method of self-defense. That over there is Sifu Chad. He's out in Gunnison, Colorado. If you want to train in Wing Chun, get in touch with him. Also, go check out Chad Ventures, the YouTube channel. He's got a great channel over there, and he rocks out over there. Literally rocks out over there. I ain't kidding you. So you're gonna have to go check that out to see what I mean. And I think that's it, guys. This is going to be a really good video, I think, for people to understand where we're coming from in our martial art. You know, I think there's a lot of kind of screwy information out there as to what martial arts is and is not, especially with the UFC out there, the entertainment thing of the UFC, the entertainment success of the UFC has really convoluted what martial arts is all about. So I think this is at least a good start. And who knows, maybe a good conversation can be had in the comment section. So if you have any questions or comments regarding what martial arts is or is not, or what jiu-jitsu is or is not, or what Wing Chun is or is not, this is the video. This is the comment section to do that in. All right, we are going to, with luck, because I don't control the sun. We don't. Seafood Chad probably doesn't either. We don't control the sun. Uh,
Only Maui can.
yeah. So yeah, that's right. So we're going to shoot for Friday. All right, we're going to shoot for Friday, 7:30 a.m. Pacific
Yeah.
time for the next training session. So let's all cross our fingers and hope that we can do that. Even if I have to come into the library, we can do some. I can take you through some compression, Wing Chun compression type style stuff. So yeah. So, however, whoops.
There,
Oh,
there it went again. Popped right on.
mwah, mwah. I'm gonna have to turn the camera off because I got to make love to this thing. That's what I got to do. Um, uh, yeah. So listen, here's the plan. We're going to shoot for Friday, 7:30 a.m. Okay. If for some reason we can't, then we'll just push it to 1 o'clock again, and we'll do it inside. And maybe you could find like a local library or something as well.
Ooh, 1 o'clock. That
Okay, here, that very
Mm,
good. So
I
1 o'clock
would
may
rather
not
have it
happen.
early. Yeah, I would
Oh,
rather have it
earlier.
earlier. Yeah, I would rather have it
Okay.
earlier because Friday I'm expecting a delivery. As soon as I get delivery, I'm gonna be
Okay.
heading out
That's
to
very
San
good.
Diego. Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So this is what we'll do, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and woo, Charlie. Uh, we're going to shoot for 7:30, maybe a little earlier. And otherwise, we're not, it won't happen. Okay. That's what we'll do. And th- just keep track. So go to Sifu Z, the YouTube channel, Sifu Z YouTube channel. I let everybody in my community section of my channel. I let everybody know what's going on. So if we're going to do it a little earlier, I'll even say it in the community section of the Sifu Z. So, okay, that's it, guys. Once again, Sifu Chad, thank you very much
Thank you.
for helping us out here, and thank you to all of our guests that have come, and thank you, Kim, Charlie, Tom, and all you folks out there. You know who you are. You're just folks. You know who you are. So
Y'all know who
I'll
y'all.
that's right. Just in the event you're interested, I do another more personal stream over on my Zeker's Caravan channel. That's called My Best Life at Zeker's Caravan. I think I got the name now. I think I'm good with that. My best life at Zeker's Caravan. That just flows. It flows. So I'm going to be doing a stream over there tomorrow. Usually about 7:30. I try to keep all these at 7:30. That's when I'm most awake. Yeah, like the coffee, and then bam, real awake and whatnot. So we're going to be doing the Zeker's Caravan stream tomorrow, and then Friday 7:30 or earlier, the Sifu Z stream. All right, guys, let me stand up and do this. It's only respectful. Bonsal, tonsal, boxal. I'll see you guys soon, if not sooner.